this is happening with alarming regularity in the U.S. now. We had the Orlando attacks some months ago, and this time in Las Vegas. What does it tell you about the situation in the U.S., especially in light of the debate around the gun laws in the U.S.?
Yes, you said it, Ramesh. The tendency nowadays is to treat every single instance. First, ask the question, is this a terror incident? WION has been maintaining, and in fact, we were the first channel today to talk about gun control and how essential it is in America. There are at least 10,000 Americans who are killed every year by other people's guns, and about 20,000 people every year commit suicide. These are statistics from their own bureaus. So, this is a serious concern, and the big problem here is that other countries like the United Kingdom and Australia have managed to pass very successfully laws through which governments have seized confiscated weapons and actually burnt them in huge piles, and this has considerably brought down crime at the hands of gun-toting individuals. So this is, and I would still like to maintain, this is a terror act, and the reason in the United States why gun control laws like those in the United Kingdom and Australia can never be passed lies largely in politics, and it is also the Constitution of the United States and what it defines as confiscation of private property. This is a very sensitive subject, and the pro-gun lobby in the United States, this is the weapon, if I may use that word, that they have been wielding repeatedly to snuff out debates on controlling guns. So this is, this is not going to work. And I mean, if you think of it, this is about 10.4% of per 100,000 citizens, and only 4% of these deaths are weapons by a third party, say like by the police in action. And the other problem in the United States to implement similar laws is that there are far too many weapons in circulation in the United States compared to Australia and the UK. There are about 90 million firearms in circulation, and it would take much longer for the United States, even if it had the will, because first the government would have to acquire these, for which it would have to buy them off the rightful owners, and that would cost some billions of dollars. So there is no will, and currently there seems no way, and that is the tragedy, because repeatedly every year we have seen, I would say, far more deaths in the United States from guns rather than from the terror attacks that we ascribe to Islamist terrorism.
Indeed, Padma, and very quickly, gun law or gun control is one aspect of the entire issue. It's half the story told. The other half is possibly around the debate around mental health. Now, mental health and gun control, they make for a very combustible mix in terms. Where do you see things going from here? Is the American government, successive governments, are they seized of the situation, and what are they doing about it at all?
Well, these are, unrelated issues really, but of course when a gun is in the hands of the wrong man or woman and that person happens to be mentally deranged or disturbed, then certainly it is a tragedy in more ways than one. What I think, they could start with is by ensuring or at least introducing some sort of a gun control system for those who are acknowledged to be suffering from mental diseases or from outbursts of violence, and there are many such who can be legally certified by the medical world, by doctors, to be in that condition. So that could be a small start, that one begins there. But then again, we're talking about a country which is the land of liberty, as they say, and these liberties are taken very, very seriously in the United States you can have a multitude of other people, if not the actual person who's being targeted, who may perhaps have been certified as mentally deranged. You may have family members, you may have others who can take this up and will take this up in courts.
Indeed. Padma, do stay on while I bring our viewers up to speed with the latest from Las Vegas. Investigators say it happened near the Mandalay Bay Casino Resort on Sunday night. Right now, the suspect has been shot dead. Police say one of the suspects fired shots from the 32nd floor of the hotel at a crowd gathered outside for a country music festival. Police say he was a local Las Vegas resident and had a female companion. The police are still looking for the woman identified as Marilu Danley, who may be of Asian descent. They're looking for a Hyundai and a Chrysler vehicle and want to take her in for questioning. police have shot and killed the suspect but are not releasing his name just yet. Many victims are now at a local hospital, several in critical condition. Witnesses say the shooting happened on the last night of the Route 91 Harvest Festival with top acts including Jason Aldean. The hotel is near the Macaron International Airport, which temporarily suspended flights because of the shooting. Nearby freeways are now back open. Police still do not have a motive just yet or have not released the victims' information. Investigators are not calling this a terror attack yet, and no response from U.S. President Donald Trump again, not yet. All right, going back across to Padma. Padma, Donald Trump, who is a prolific tweeter, has not made a comment yet about this attack. Let's stay with the story.
Yes, he has not made a comment yet. This is true. He is a prolific tweeter. Maybe he's growing wise to the game, and maybe he's first getting some advice from his A team as to what to tweet and how to react. Because let's not forget that this will bring up the issue of gun control again. That is the obvious, story that is going to come up, and this will mean that the Trump administration will have to take action. Now, there is a misconception that it is more, there is a proliferation of guns more among Republican voters than among Democrat voters. This is purely hearsay and this is pure speculation, mostly, spread by those who don't like the Republicans very much. There is an interesting statistic that most crimes from guns, whether other people's guns or suicides, happen in predominantly African-American and other, neighborhoods and communities, and not all African-Americans. I speak of those who are economically disadvantaged. So this is apparently a more common problem in such circles, in such neighborhoods, than it is in affluent communities. This is it's political only to the extent that it requires a drastic overhaul of the existing gun laws of the United States. And I'm not sure that President Trump's administration is going to be up to the task, given the fact that they are, right now obsessing with all kinds of other international global problems and weaponization and subjects like that. So this is not exactly going to be high priority. But then again, with the high death toll, more than 50 people, that is a huge number, considering that there were only about not only about, I say that with, I don't say that in a flippant manner, but there were a total of 900 deaths since since 9/11 in the United States, whereas about 93 deaths, whereas there were about 900 deaths in Europe from terrorism and acts of terrorism. And this 50 deaths in one go and hundreds injured, that is a huge blow, because the tendency was, of course, up to now to blame it on terror groups based in the Middle East, the Islamic State and others, Islamist terror groups. But now there isn't even that. This is something that is emanated from within the United States, within American community itself. So something will have to be done. There will be a public outcry. But whether President Trump's administration is up to the task will remain to be seen.
Indeed. Padma, do stay on. We are now joined by Renee Souther from Las Vegas, who is a witness to the Las Vegas shooting. Renee, can you please tell us where you were when you heard the gunshots?
So we heard the gunshots, and initially we thought it was fireworks happening over at the concert. And then I sent a text message to my friends and I said, what is the noise that's happening right now? And they said that there were gunshots happening over at the concert. And so we pieced together that it was coming from right above our shoulder down into the festival. And so we gathered everybody that was standing outside of the hotel lobby and brought them into the lobby and tried to get everybody to go to a safe place.
And Renee, what happened afterwards? What happened after the incident?
Right now we are hearing that the shooter was detained or killed, and that there is one woman on the loose that they're looking for. I believe it's his roommate, but we're still on lockdown in the hotel. We luckily were able to find a comfortable place for everybody to hide right now, but we're still on lockdown. All the Las Vegas Strip is completely black right now. It's all lights are off.